Hi there, welcome to the Crusty Colonel's Wargame Show. This episode is the second part of a cattle raid in a Dux Britanniarum campaign. The Scotty raiders, led by Lord Ronal MacDonal, are rustling some cattle from the fiefdom of Lord Edwin, a northern Saxon. Things are not going to plan. Now this could be dreadful for the Saxons. 10 and 12 takes the Saxon lord and his champion off the table. That is a bad things happen for losing the lord. I guess it's the same as being killed because he's just run away. It's 5, which is 3 points off force morale, which takes the Saxons down to 1 force morale. Absolute disaster for the Saxons. Absolute disaster. And has completely turned the game. Oh, it's still not over yet, obviously. But let's see what happens. Who's coming up first? Scotty, leader 2. Okay, Egg McMuffin will just take off that point of shock. Saxon, leader 2. So Elf Jin over here, he will take off 1 point of shock. He will, I suppose he's really got to go for these guys here and try and hit them in the flank. So 3 dice 6, he'll play aggressive charge. They don't have a Carpe Diem. They'll lose 1 because they're going forward. So that is 13 less 1 is 12, which is enough for contact. Right. Well, according to the rules, they say that if you're hit in the flank and you can't play a Carpe Diem, then the group or formation turns to face. So it looks like they're all in. So actually a bit of a desperate attempt by the Saxons here, which may well put them at a massive disadvantage. So let's have a look what we've got here. We've got 6, 7, 8 for the Saxons. And 4, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for the Scotty. So Saxons first, hitting on 4, 5, 6, 3 hits. Then we'll do 2 on that and 1 on that. And Scotty. Seven hits. Okay, so 3, 4, 5 shock. Another shock on the right hand group. Sorry, done that one. 1 shock only. This is going to be disastrous, isn't it? Elf Jin has cooked himself here. Well, there's no kills, but that's 5 shock, which takes them to 6. They are excess shock, so they go back 2 inches. They're excess shock, they go back 2 inches.
Sorry, I'm not
and the Scotty will advance and we will do another round of combat. So this time the Scotty have 2 less dice because of shock, so it's 3 plus 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And this side we have 6 less 3 is 3 plus 2 is 5. All the Saxons first. hitting on a 4, 5, 6, 2 hits, 1 on each. Scotty. Another 6 hits. Okay, left hand group, nothing. Right hand group, 1 kill. And hits on the Saxons, 1 kill, 3 shock. Alright, so 3 shock, put that on first. Takes them to 9. 1 kill, is it Elf Gin? It's not. So it's 1 kill. Net is the same, however, we have excess shock here. We have 5 warriors and we have 9. So that is 4 excess. They go back 2 inches for each excess, so that's 8. I make that. Away they go, and the Scotty will advance 2 inches. Okay, so a disastrous attack by Saxon Leader 2, Elfgin. The Saxon Lord, well, he's gone, so I'll take him out of the pack. Scotty Cavalry are up next. They're over here. I'm going to move them up to the river so they can screen against the Saxons across the river. They will roll 3 dice and take 2 off because of shock, so they move 8. Scotty Lord. He'll draw a card. It is Desperare. Brilliant. He'll play Bounding Move. And he will also, so I don't have to, so if he's drawn a card for 1 initiative, he'll take off 1 shock. He will then move them over here to get the Saxons. So 9 less 2, 7. Oh, another dice because of the bounding move. Another 4. Okay. Saxon Leader 1. Well, just as well they did that. Saxon Leader 1 is here. He will probably draw a card for 1. Shield Wall braced. Okay, well that might be useful in combat. But I think really, well actually no, he's going to stay there. He's going to stay there. He's going to take off shock. Because the point is, he is blocking the Scotty's route out of this. And it's up to the Scotty to get through. Right, so this game is still in the balance. I think the Scotty don't have many men left, but the Saxon force morale is on 1. So if for some reason we can get rid of the Saxons, then they are gone. So Saxon Leader 1 is up. So again, he's not going to do anything. He will take a shock off. He'll draw 1 card. Probably do that before he takes a shock off, but there we are. And he has Strong Arm, which is only good in the attack, and they'll have to get rid of 1 now because he's got 6 in his hands. He gets rid of Goad. Okay, so they're just blocking there at the moment. Scotty skirmishers. Now I think I made a bit of an error here. What I need to do is break this group here, because I only need 1 more shock and they're gone. and he will obviously rally off. So I should have probably moved the skirmishers over to them, which I will do now. And they go 5, not particularly good. Next card up is Saxon Leader 2. Well, he's going to take off 2 shock. Nothing else he can do. Cavalry, again, what they're going to do is come over here and see if they can have a go at the Saxons. They have 10. Going to take off 2 for shock, so they can come 8, which gets them nicely in range. They can therefore start to harass with 3 dice, hitting on 4, 5, 6, 1 hit, 4, 5, 6 for shock, another shock. So they're back up to 7. 3 more shock and they're gone. Scotty Leader 2, well, that is Egg McMuffin. There's no shock on the skirmishers, so he can't do anything. And the Scotty Lord. So all the Scotty Lord will do, he will draw a card and he will take off 2 shock here. It's just a bit of a waiting game at the moment. Everybody's shouting across the stream there. It's end of turn. The cattle are moving again. If they advance too much further, they might have to go backwards. Saxon Leader 1 is in a bit of a quandary. Now bear in mind this is a campaign. Does he go for it, or does he just sit there waiting for the Scotty to come around? I mean, he's effectively pinned at the moment because well, he could be sneaky and run away to the cattle and fight the skirmishers over there, I guess. I don't know whether that's playing the game correctly or not, because there's enemy to the front, and I think that's probably unlikely to happen. I think he's got to go for it. He can draw a card, see if that's going to give him any advantage. It's bounding move. No Carpe Diems come out. It's a bounding move, so that's I think what he's going to do to make sure he makes contact. He's going through that bog. Now the bog will mean he will hoover up a bit of shock going over there. 1 shock per group en masse, and -2 dice per d6. So he'll play bounding move to make sure he gets in. He can't afford not to get in. This is the last attempt, so it's 4 dice, losing 2 on each. Of course, typically for 5 inches, and he has not made it. And there's a point of shock on each. You'll probably come to that side where the Lord is. Now, of course, he's probably messed it all up. I generally do that, mess it all up, but there we go. So be it. Now who's next? Saxon Leader 2. Well, he'll take off 2 shock, can't really do anything else. Scotty Cavalry, they will simply pepper the Saxons with 2 hits there. 4, 5, 6 is shock, so another shock, so that goes straight back on, so they ain't moving anywhere. Quickly, these guys, and I think that is the exact right use of correct use of the cavalry there. Leader 2 is the Egg McMuffin with the skirmishers. There's no shock to take off, so I'm going to worry about that. Scotty Lord is activating. Alright, Scotty Lord is activating. He'll take 1 point of shock off. He will play Fear. A group of enemy levy or warriors who are within 6 inches of your champion will take 1 dice 3 points of shock, so it'll be this side. 1. No, better than nothing. 1 point of shock there, extra. He doesn't have anything else useful, so they'll just charge in. Won't bother rolling for that. And we are going to have combat again. Now, this really is the make or break. We'll do some calculations. So we have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for the Scotty. And 6, 11, 13 for the Saxons. And the Saxons will play shield wall braced, which means the formation in shield wall may brace themselves to receive a charging enemy. The enemy roll to hit with a -1. Alright, so first of all, let's do the Saxon attack on the Scotty. 4, 5s and 6s required, and that is a big hit. Nine in total, 5 and 4. Now the Scotty, same number of dice, but hitting on a 5 and 6. And they only done 5. So I'll have 3 on this side and 2 on this side. Alright, so 3, 4, 5, shock, 6, kill, cocky, 2 shock, 3 shock, 2 shock, 1 kill, nothing. Two shock. Three shock. 2 shock. And 1 kill. Is the kill on the noble? No, it is not. 1 kill. So net 1. Is there any excess shock? No, there isn't. There's no excess shock either on the Scotty. So they go again. Let's see what we have now. We have 6 plus 3 is 9, 10, 11 for the Saxons, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for the Scotty. Alright, this time the Scotty will be hitting on a 4, 5, 6. The shield wall brace only counts for that first go. Alright, Saxons first. Now that's not so good. That is a disaster. 2 and 1 hit there. What's coming back at the Saxons? This could be the end. Oh, that's not particularly good either. Oh, 5 hits. Okay, so 3 on the noble, 2 on the other group. Right, so let's see what happens here. 1 shock. Nothing. 1 kill. And 1 shock. Right, so let's put the shock on. And the kill is the kill on the leader. It is not. So, is there any excess shock? There is not. They have 3, but 3. They have 3 and 4 raiders left. They have 2 and there. So that combat ends for the moment. And it is close. It is close. Okay, Scotty skirmishes are up next. and they get want to get in within 6 inches, so they roll 2 dice, but they can't because they've only gone 2 inches. So pretty pathetic. There, end of turn. What are the cattle doing? They're going 5. I think they'll just be in a holding pattern here, so the skirmishers here just be milling around in the low ground here. Next turn. I keep saying it, but this might be the... Oh, Scotty Lord is up first. This might be the final round. Now, they are in battle, so I don't think he can do anything with regards to cards, because he's in the combat and using his initiative for that. So here we go for the combat with the Scotty and the Saxons. So let's do some calculations. 5, 8, 9, 10. We'll roll. Saxons first. 3 hits. That's not good. Scotty in return. 5 hits. Okay. 2 shock. 2 kill, 1 shock. I'll put the shock on as I go and I'll sort the kill out in a minute. One shock. One kill. Now the 2 kill here, is it on the noble? No, it's not. Alright, 2 kill there. So the Saxons have 2, Scotty have 1, so it's net 1. So people with excess, or the side with excess shock goes back. They have excess shock of 2, so they go back 4 inches for the excess shock there. The Scotty also will go back 1 inch there. These are allowed to go back with them because of staying in formation. Still no decisive effect. Scotty cavalry up next, so they will again harass the others. 2 hits and 1 shock, so they're back up to 8 shock. Saxon leader 1. Well, I think really all he can do is take off 2 shock and get them back down to 3. Can't afford to do anything at the moment. Leader 2, take off 2 shock. Can't do anything else. Scotty skirmishers, right, again they'll go 2 dice 6. See if they can get in. Looks like they can this time. Well within their 6-inch range. Now, 4 dice. 4, 5, 6. So that's 1 hit. No effect. And leader 2, Egg McMuffin. Can't do anything with that. End of the turn. Cattle. Well, let's roll. What are the cattle doing? They go 10 inches now. Cattle are getting bored. Cattle are going around in circles. Can't afford to take the skirmishers away from the cattle because the cattle may well just run off in any direction. So perhaps we will get finally a decisive round coming up. Scotty cavalry. Okay. Again, 3 dice. 3 hits. Oh. And another shock. Just means that the Saxons are held at bay here. This is what the skirmish screen should have been doing the whole time. Scotty Lord. Scotty Lord activated. He's taken off 2 shock. They're going in. They've got to rout this lot. Perhaps the final combat. So 4 on the Saxon side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on the Scotty side. Let's have a Saxon hit. It's a good hit. It's 3. 2 and 1. What's coming back in return? Not brilliant. It's 3. That's not good at all. Right, what damage have the Scotty done to the Saxons? 1 kill, 1 shock. I'll put the shock on now. I'll take the kill off actually. No leader involved in that one. Nothing. Oh, Scotty needed that. And nothing. Wow. 1 net, no excess shock. We go again. So this time the Saxons will have 5 less 2, 3. And the Scotty will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. Which is the same as last time. So Saxons, 1 hit. Has to go on the Lord's side. Scotty. Only 3. Let's do that one first. 2 shock. And a kill. It's the Lord. Now actually, funnily enough, that's just what he wanted. Because he gains honour for being injured. And he's not going to sacrifice his champion for that. So there we go. That's the end of the round. The net was, well, there was no net win on that one. So they stay in combat. Saxon leader 1. Well, he's back here. I suppose he has to charge in and reignite that fight because he can't do anything else. He will play a strong arm. No, strong arm, but he only goes 2 dice 6 and he's going to lose 2 pips anyway. He can't afford to play that one. So he'll go in with 3 dice, losing 2 dice, 2 pips per dice and minus 3 inches anyway because he's going across that swampy ground. Let's see what he gets. I think that's going to be enough because that's 16 less 6, less 3. Yeah, so we've got 7 inches, so he's in, reigniting that combat. All right, now let's see what happens. So Saxons have 5 less 3 is 2 for that side, and 1, 2, and then Noble takes it to 6. And the Scotty will be on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Lord, 7, 8 for the champion as well. So Saxon's still less. Again, 2 on the Lord's team. Scotty, that's better from them. Well, not much better. 2 hits on each. Okay. So let's do the back. 2 shock. They're on 5. 1 shock. They're on 3. 1 kill. And 1 shock. Right, so net kill is for the in the favour of Scotty. So any excess shock, yes, both of them. So these guys go back 2. These guys go back 6, and they don't have excess shock. These guys do. They will go back. Because Scotty always go back with excess shock. They'll go back to I think these ones will go forward, which is not to their advantage because they won the combat. So I guess we play another round here where we have 3 for the Saxons. They lose 2 for the shock, so it's 1 fighter and then 2 for the noble. And the Scotty have 2. So Saxons, 3 hits. Scotty, 1 hit. What do the Saxons do? To the Scotty, another 2 shock. So that takes them to 4. 5. No effect on the Saxons. So they again have excess shock. They go back and join up with them. And they will go forward too. And this fight is never ending. Back over the other side to the skirmishers. Right, so they're going to hit with 4. 2 hits. No effect. Egg McMuffin, no effect. And leader 2, he's just going to take off 2 more shock. So they're now down to 5. This is the fight to the death. They might not be campaigning in this year again. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I think all the cattle are doing are fertilising this part of the area where it's safe for them to go. They'll go back in the low ground again. Or the little valley over here, or re-entrant. Alright, who's up first? Scotty Lord again. He is taking the initiative. I think this time around though, it just makes sense for him to rally off shock. So he'll take off 3 shock. Down to 2. He can't take off 3 shock because he's wounded. He can just take off 2 shock. Saxon leader 2. Well, here we go. He's down to 3 now. Just taking off that shock. Skirmishers. This is just a ding-dong affair on the side. 2 hits and 2 shot. He'll back on again. Saxon leader 1. And he's got to take off 2 shock. Muffin again, and Scotty cavalry. And again, the cavalry. 3 hits. Oh, they needed that to be the effect. No effect. 3 hits, but no effect. And that's it. I'm not going to bother moving the cattle this time. Well, I suppose better, because just in case they veer off on a double. That is not a double. So I'm just going to sort of keep them there. Can't be asked moving around all the time. We are nearly there, surely. Skirmishers. 3 hits. Another one on. This is just sort of stalemate this side. Okay. Leader 2, he'll just take off 2. Right. They ain't going anywhere fast, are they, that lot? Leader 1. Right, this time he's going to do a strong arm. Get in. So he loses 1 dice of movement. But he gets in quite easily. Now, as he goes in, he can throw 2 dice. I presume he loses 1 for shock. Any 5 and 6 becomes a shock. No effect. So let's have a look what we've got here. The Saxons have 4. The Scotty have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 7. So it's 4 against 7 dice. 2 hits, 1 on each. Three hits. Do the Saxons first. 1 shock. One shock. Nothing. No winner or loser, but there is an excess shock on this side. It's 1 inch for the raiders for each excess shock. They are not. So they'll go back. I assume these will just fight next to each other. So we have 4 for the Saxons. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the Scotty. Four hits. Ooh, Ronal MacDonal, what have you done? 2 hits. Just see what happens to the Saxons first. 1 kill. Is it the noble? It's not. Three shock. Takes him to 7. Right, so the Saxons lost, but we've got so excess shock. They've all got excess shock, so they're going to go back 2. These guys have 3 with 7, so they're broken. Well, it's just the excess shock first. So they go back 1 inch for excess shock, they go back 4. Yeah, 4. They've got excess shock. No, they won't in the combat. And then they go 3 dice 6, which is 13. Bad things happen for the Scotty. Yes, because they lost down for 5. That's 2 points off force morale. They're down to 3. Scotty cavalry, 1 hit. Nothing. Scotty Lord, well, that's good for him. He can detach himself and move 3 dice 6. And he moves 6. Good thing for them. Is he won't rout off the table. Cattle. We'll come back towards the Lord area. Right, end of the go, end of the turn. Only routed units will continue to rout off, so they've gone. Probably should have finished the game a little while ago, but there we are. It's a learning experience. Cavalry, 2 hits. 1 more shock. This is just stalemate, effectively, I think. Okay, skirmishers. Well, now probably what they will do is switch target. They'll go 2 dice 6 over here. That's probably not far enough. Or is it? They are just within range. So they will throw their little spears and they get 4 hits. Effect, ooh, in the trees, 2 shock. And you know what? That 2 shock has taken them to 5, which means they've lost their amphora. They break. They go 9. It is about things happen. It's all on this roll. Of course, typically. Oh no, 1 point. 1 point. Force morale at 0. The Saxons have finally decided that enough is enough. So I will have to do a bit of a post-mortem on that one. Right, well that was absolute carnage. I think the scenario could have gone either way for a lot of the time, actually, which was good to see. It wasn't all one-sided. I think looking back on the filming there, whilst I've been doing the editing, there's a lot of dodgy dice rolls. I think there's some dubious force morale checks, in particular when nobles are leaving the table, the Saxon Lord in particular. I think there's a few ignorance of the rules and certainly some errors. And one of the major problems I've got is trying to remember the cards and play them in the right place. Having said all that, I thought it was a fun game. And a couple of surprises there, in particular the Saxon elites leaving the field and the raiders holding their own against them. And I think I have managed to suss out the use of the skirmishers. To start with, they got swept away, but towards the end they were certainly doing their job, keeping the Saxons at bay. From a numbers perspective, the Scotty lost 3 noble cavalry and 9 raiders killed, and the Saxons 6 Hearthguard elites, 7 warriors and 1 archer, one of the missiles, and they are categorized as moderate losses for both sides. So there was no pursuit at the end of the cattle raid. I don't think anybody had the energy to do that. Looking on the results table, it was a successful raid, so that's +2. The Scotty lost 12, so that was -2, 1 for each of the 6 men lost. But the enemy, the Saxons, lost 13, so that's +2. You get +1 for each 6 men lost, so that's a net +2. Looking on the raid results table, +2 means the Scotty replace their losses within 1 month. They get a beggar's bowl in plunder, which takes them up to prefect's riches. And of course the Scotty Lord Ronal MacDonal was also wounded, and therefore he gains 1 honour. The Saxons, though, take 2 months to replace their losses. What all this means is that if this raid was in March, then the Scotty can raid in April uncontested, and they will do that. I don't want the Saxons fielding a weakened warband. Therefore the uncontested raid will net a thief's hoard for the Scotty, which takes them up to a king's treasury. In May, however, whilst the Scotty are raiding a church, the Saxons will certainly defend that. And that will be the next episode, and I hope you will join me watching how the two sides get on fighting over the goodies within the church. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.